Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well today. So in this video I'm going to be talking about angels. So I previously did a video saying if you're interested in working with demons, watch this. So this is going to be the kind of like a brother to that video, and that is if you're interested in working with angels, then watch this. So angels. So angels are very powerful beings, obviously. There's a lot of misunderstandings about angels that people have. A lot of people come from a Christian or Catholic background, and so their whole idea of angels comes from these religions, but angels are a lot more complicated and a lot more varied than how they, show themselves or how they're portrayed in those religious paradigms, right? So I guess what I will say is there's different ways of working with angels. In ceremonial magic, which is a kind of more complicated kind of magic, it's more proper, it's very by the books type of magic. Ceremonial magic involves a lot of elaborate rituals. I've done a little bit of ceremonial magic, not too much. The only thing I've really done, I can't remember now, it's been a long time. I think I did the Kabbalistic cross, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, I've done other things, I can't think of it, but anyway. So in the ceremonial magic, there's a lot of angelic work. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram involves summoning multiple archangels, 4 archangels, sometimes 6, depending on which method you choose to do it. And there are other rituals that involve summoning the angels of the zodiac and the 72 angels of the Shema Meforash. So there's a lot of different kinds of things you can do. So there's a lot of different ways to go about working with these angelic beings. Some people say that a lot of different things about angels. The more you explore the occult world and the different branches of occultism and spirituality, you'll see that there are a lot of kind of conflicting ideas about angels, a lot of paradoxes and things like that. What I find interesting is that in Christianity, Christianity is the top guy is Jehovah, and he has many angels below him, right? But there are some angels that are not related to Jehovah or Christianity, right? They're off doing their own thing. They're kind of independent agents, you could even say. Also, some angels are not, because we think of things as being good and bad. I feel like there's a lot more gray. I feel like most beings fall into a gray area as far as good and evil is concerned. But people tend to think of angels as being solely good or of the light, and that's just not true. There are dark angels. There are infernal beings, or even demons, and other dark beings who have multiple aspects, and some of those aspects are angelic aspects. And so it can get very interesting and very, mind-blowing the more research you do into all of it. Now, I think there's a lot of ways to go about it. Like I said, you can do ceremonial magic. I have a few books here. I pulled them off my bookshelf for you if you're interested in doing that. So the first book I have is this one. It's called Enochian Vision Magic. It's by Lon Milo Duquette. It's pretty good. It shows, it has all the angelic tables inside of it. So what it is with these tables is it's a way for communicating with angels and things like that. So you see there's a lot of like diagrams and things. So with what Enochian is the language of angels. And this is information that was channeled by Edward Kelly and John Dee during the Elizabethan era. And he did a lot of scrying in a black mirror to communicate directly with his beings. And he was able to basically not create, but kind of document down this angelic language called Enochian. And It's considered a sacred language, but I think that nobody has quite figured out how to speak it, I think. But it is the language of the angels. And this book has a lot of information about the creating the angelic tables, and I think it has to do with like the angels of the watchtowers and things like that. Although this is not the only book with that kind of information. You can get that kind of information in a lot of other books, but this one I recommend it only because it has a lot to do with a lot of the backstory of Edward Kelly and John Dee and when they were kind of channeling that information, I guess you could say. But it's pretty good. Now, the rest of these, I believe they're all from the Gallery of Magic. The Gallery of Magic is a collective of, I guess I would say, magicians who have published several books amongst themselves. So the first one I would recommend is this one, The 72 Angels of Magic. This one is very potent. I've only done a ritual from it one time. It was for something extremely grave and incredibly serious, and I was scared out of my mind about how that situation was going to turn out, and with this it was resolved just fine. This book has sigils for all the different angels, and it has a list of 3 to 4 different abilities for each angel as kind of like a jumping off point. I consider that the more heavy duty book. It's one of my favorite books in my collection. The rituals in it take 11 days to do, and I plan on doing some more rituals from it really soon. Really good book. Now the other 2 I have are a bit smaller. This one is called The Angels of Alchemy. This one, it calls on different angels to achieve different tasks, I guess you could say. Not tasks, but they are more of a, how would you say? It's more like a paragraph about the general abilities and things that an angel is capable of doing, whatever angel is on each page. And then it tells you how to kind of petition that particular angel, so to speak, how to task the angel. And it's pretty good. I've used many from that book too. It's pretty good. The last one and that one's by Damon Brand. Actually, both of these are by Damon Brand now that I think about it. So, and then the last one I want to talk about is by Gordon Winterfield. This is called Angels of Wrath. Now, this is baneful magic, but it's angelic baneful magic. It's a little intense, and I think a lot of people think of angels as just like healing protectors, but angels can be very powerful when used in a baneful way, right? Angels they're not like humans. They are often thought of as being more, not robotic, but kind of cold and a bit unemotional. And they just can be very like business-like, I guess. A lot of people would say they're not very personable. They just kind of show up and they're just like kind of cold and not very warm. Now, angels can have an aura of like love and peace and tranquility, but when people interact with them, I think sometimes they can just be very much about business, getting, why did you summon me? Tell me what it is you need from me, and then they just go off. Like, not too much of like a personal thing. Although I know some people can have relationships like that with angels. I think generally they're kind of regarded as being more cold, unemotional, almost robot-like in how detached they are from the human experience, because they've never really been human. And I know there's been a few rare cases where a human has ascended and became an angel, like with Metatron, but that's like the exception to the rule. Now, with angels, you can work with them in a more traditional setting, I guess, right? You could just simply say prayers to Saint Michael and just do it like that, without all the tables and amulets and ceremonial magic. You can just, have a prayer card to Saint Michael and pray to Saint Michael on the daily. And you could even make an altar to, an angel and pray with them, pray to them. You can do it like that, which is a more, I would say, more regular kind of a way, a less complicated kind of a way. Now, I don't have any altars to angels. I have not worked with that many different angels. Or maybe I have, I guess, between all these books, it's probably more than 30 different ones. But I haven't had enough experiences one-on-one to really tell you my deeper opinions about some of their personalities. What I also will say is Angels of Alchemy is really good because in the back of the book, it kind of tells you about the evocation of angels, and it goes into detail about what that's like and about, the realistic ideas about results. Now, with angels, there is a lot of power, and they can be very intense. And a lot of angels, although they are protective and they can be quote unquote loving, they can be very protective and they can provide a lot of healing, they can also be very powerful as punishers, as those who castigate wrongdoers, as those who act out and bring forth like real spiritual justice. You can think of them as like a cavalry, as spiritual police almost sometimes. Now, some angels are not of the light, and some angels have ulterior motives, but I think I would say like almost any angel you've heard of is probably fine to work with. Obviously Saint Michael, Archangel Michael being top of the list, as we all know. So I think that if you're interested in working with angels, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. You can even you can do Bible magic, Psalm magic from the Psalms, and some Psalms actually are a clever tool for directly summoning or working with certain angels. So it's really interesting. Also, if you're working with angels, angels are very responsive to music. Praying to angels while singing the prayers, or when you're calling out to an angel, singing the angel's name, very, very potent, very, very powerful. Definitely. Now, with angels, sometimes people will summon angels around them without any protection. I think most people don't use protection with angels. And I think it's fine, but also just don't forget that angels themselves in their own right are extremely powerful, ancient beings themselves. And it's just something to note. Remember, like, people tend to kind of water down angels and their abilities and what they stand for and what they do and how they interact with humans. But angels are powerful and very intense and sometimes very frightening and scary beings because of the amount of power they have, and some of them are not kind. And so it's just very important to don't think of angels as like sweet, sweet little cherubs who are here to make you happy. They are powerful, intensely scary, big energies. And although you can have fulfilling relationships with these beings, it's always important to have like a certain base level of respect and a healthy caution, right? And I think that's with any being that is not you. So that's kind of where I want to say. Those are some book recommendations. If you want to read more about angels, you can look up also the I guess you would say kind of like there's a angelic hierarchy, right? And so those are some species of angels. There's the seraphim, the cherubim, the ophanim, the dominions, the thrones, the principalities, and the powers, guardian angels, archangels. There's a lot of different kinds. Also, please don't associate the cherubim with cherubs. The cherubim are gigantic, scary warrior type of beings. Cherubs are like little naked fat babies with like little wings that we usually see like on the clouds like this. You know what I mean? Like when we see those little cute like little baby angels, like those are cherubs. Those are not like the cherubim of like angelic lore. Now, and those little baby cherubs are, I think they're also known as putti. I think it's Italian. It's spelled Putti. Those are like the little angelic babies that we'll see on like frescoes and like sculptures. Different thing. Yeah, so definitely do a lot of research. It's really fun. You know, I studied angelology for a long time. You know, I was studying it around the same time I was probably studying demonology, and it's very fascinating, really. So, yeah, and there's a lot of really great resources on YouTube if you want to learn even more about it. So, yeah, I would say, and also another thing I want to say about angels, not everyone has a guardian angel. I think we as humans, from just all the media and religion and everything, we always assume everyone has a guardian angel. I've seen tarot readings on TikTok like, oh, this is your daily message from your guardian angel, things like that. Not everyone has a guardian angel. Some people have more than one guardian angel. Some people have no guardian angels. I don't have a guardian angel. I don't have one. A lot of people do. I don't happen to have one. I was told why I don't have one, and it was for a good reason, and that is what it is. But yeah, so don't assume anything, really. So kind of when you start working with angels, it's good to remember everything you know about them, everything you think you know, and it's always good to do more research. But just always remember to keep an open mind, right? I think that's one of the most valuable things you can have when you become a practicing magician, is to have an open mind and, you know, be ready to kind of allow your paradigm to be a little bit flexible sometimes, the way you view the world. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. But watch videos on YouTube. It's great resources. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this helpful, then drop a like. If you want more like this, then of course subscribe. And I will see all of you really soon. Take care.